Marks a fresh milestone for US President Donald Trump, 100 days of his second term in office. It's been a period of action with a record number of executive orders which don't require the approval of Congress. Action too on some of his big election pledges like immigration and the economy, where we've seen trade wars intensify with his announcement of widespread tariffs. Mr. Trump has pushed the boundaries of executive power, particularly when it comes to those last two subjects that we mentioned, immigration and the economy, which were fundamental issues for his voters. Our North America correspondent, Nomia Iqbal, has more.
These border agents look for anyone crossing illegally. We are on the Rio Grande, the natural border between the US and Mexico.
The migrants created that trail right there, pretty much along this entire area. You'll see.
They created it to try and get through.
Right, yes, trying to find a weak spot in the infrastructure to try to find their way through.
Coiled wire, floating barriers, and even alligators are some of the deterrents. They don't always work.
And here's a fresh cut, and if you can see, they haven't patched this yet, so this just happened, and this is what they're using to get through.
Agent Donaldson says it was tough during Biden's presidency.
When we were seeing 2,000 plus people crossing a day, it was very difficult. All of our resources were overwhelmed.
But now things have changed.
The numbers have dropped significantly from, catching 2,000 people a day. Now we're catching about 40 people a day. So we're able to push our resources out into these areas to give us the advantage to make apprehensions. Previously, we would do what was called catch and release. We're no longer doing that. We're providing that consequence and removing people as quickly as we can. It deters people from even trying to make that entry.
President Trump has called his actions here a success, but what happens on the border doesn't stay on the border. Fear of deportations has spread to universities. There have been high-profile arrests of international students critical of US support for Israel.
There's a lot of folks who aren't even feeling safe to go to their classes. I know one student, for example, who already chose to quote-unquote self-deport. Students are the heart of a leftist movement in this country, so if you want to get rid of that, go after the universities.
Do you worry about speaking out?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that it's a big risk, even though it's my right to do so. I'm pretty confident I'll probably lose my job in the next couple months to a couple years.
Here on campus, there are lots of international students and they don't really want to talk to us because they're worried about the repercussions. But I did talk to some American students and they said they have immigrant parents and so therefore they just don't think it's worth speaking out against President Trump's policies.
Polls suggest nearly half of Americans are happy with how President Trump is handling immigration, although they question some of the methods. He did make